they've been feeling with us. And I am very thankful and humbled by that. And I apologize if I haven't been able to reply to everyone. I know a lot of people called and left voicemails maybe multiple times and sent email. And I know I couldn't get to everybody. As a matter of fact, I hardly was able to get to anybody. And I hope you excuse me. Wallahi, it's been tough. But like I said, Allah Azza wa Jal has helped and assisted and made it easy. I know that the surgery that my daughter went through is not an easy surgery. It's one of these very difficult surgeries. It took 10 hours. And it's going to take a long time for full recovery. But alhamdulillah. Wallahi, I can see the improvement every day. Every day. And like I said, you see what others are going through, and you feel shy from your Lord. That I am not even near to be truly thankful. Abdun shakur. I am not even near to be a abd shakur to Allah Azza wa Jal. Wallahi, He has blessed us with so many things. And I just feel, like I said, very shy and humbled that I'm not, reaching that level of being truly thankful to Allah Azza wa Jal. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our shortcomings. Forgive our heedlessness for not being thankful, for not being conscious of all those ni'am that befalls us from Allah Azza wa Jal day and night around the clock. His ni'am, wallahi, His bounties are falling on us. That's it. It's over. And here's what I'm going to do actually. Let's see. Oh, that's not it. Maybe I should do... How do we do the bare minimum? Just the mandatory acts of the wudu that makes a valid wudu. Just a hint. I can't help it.
I don't need this.
There are 6 things. There are 6 mandatory acts that make a valid wudu. All right. Some people say, "Oh, go back and make wudu. It's not valid." La, ya akhi, it's valid.
Yes.
It's better to mention, but if you miss or you forget, your wudu is still valid, alhamdulillah. So what is the absolute minimum that makes a valid wudu? Again, there are 6 things, 6 mandatory acts.
Yes.
First one?
We have to rinse the mouth.
Okay, or you can say washing the face, Washing the face, including rinsing the mouth and
clean the nose.
And blowing the nose. And cleaning the nose. Right. How many times?
1 time.
One. That's the bare minimum. That's 1.
Then we have to wash hands.
Washing the hands.
The right hand all the way to the...
So when you actually washed your face, right, from the hairline to the chin, and then from the ear to the ear, from the side to the ear to the ear. This was the whole face, right? So now wiping the head, we said from the hairline all the way to the back.
And then make sure that you also clean your ears too. The rinsing the ears is also included when wiping the head.
Exactly. So wiping the 2 ears.
2 ears.
Right. Now, when you wipe the ears, do you need to bring more fresh water or over my head? And I washed, my feet to the ankle, but I swabbed the hands with wiping the head.
Yes.
So after I washed my face, I wiped over my head, and then I washed my hand. Is that valid?
No.
It's not valid.
Okay. Yeah.
So the order is actually meant for it. It is meant for that order.
Yes.
So they have to be in that order.
I started with the mouth.
You start with the face, and then the hands, and then wiping the head, and then washing the feet. So that's the 5th one, and then there was a 6th one. 6th. I'll give you a hint. Somebody starts the wudu, right? They wash their face, and they wash their hands, and then they go have breakfast.
Oh no!
20 minutes later, they come back and they start wiping. They continue the wudu.
Make sure that none of your part is dry before you wash the wudu.
So there shouldn't be too much time between one pillar and one act and then the other. And the scholars have given a good criteria, if you wish, right? Yeah. That the previous organ should not dry naturally on its own before you go for the next one, right? So if you say, for example, somebody started the wudu and then in the middle, right, he had a break, right, had breakfast, half an hour, and then came back, and I'm like, subhanAllah, I didn't finish my wudu, let me finish it. We say, no, you have to restart. You have to start all over from the very beginning. It's not acceptable. So 6 pillars. Can you, Barakallah Fiqh, repeat them real quick? Just real quick. First one.
First one, washing your face. Including rinsing the mouth. Mm-hmm. And
washing the nose.
Washing the nose.
Yes.
Once. Because these, most of the time, all the time.
Yes.
We separate the face, the mouth, and the nose.
Yes. But they are actually part of the face.
It's part of it. But,
yes.
When I say face, that means, face and then the mouth and then the nose.
Yes.
Okay, whatever. So it's 3 in 1.
Right. Right.
And then we have to wash our hands, elbow, right and the left.
From the
fingertips, make sure that the water goes in between.
Right. Although this is kind of recommended. It's not, even if you don't wash, it's understood that the water will actually get there. Yes, but you want to make sure that, yes, exactly, it gets everywhere. If you have any doubt, you want to make sure. Yeah. And if there's something on the skin, it needs to be removed. So especially for the sisters, manicure needs to be removed. If there's any paint or dough or whatever it is that's stuck to the skin, it needs to be removed wherever the water has to get there. Third?
The third is rinsing your head with the fresh water. Wiping your head with the fresh water,
right?
To the neck and then ears included in that thing. You make sure that thing.
Right.
And the
fourth one?
The fourth one is feet. The right and the left, all the way to the ankles, including the ankles.
Right.
And then the sixth one is make sure the fifth part. The fifth one. A proper order.
Mm-hmm. Sixth one?
The sixth one.
Succession.
Oh, succession.
Okay. Yeah, which should be. You do
start
the next
and
one.
Finish all the way up.
Right.
Make sure
you don't
get the break between that, so then get the part to dry.
Exactly. Barakallah fiqh. Alhamdulillah. I want another hand to do a full wudu, complete wudu. From A to Z with all the sunan, all the recommended acts, all the sunan act. Now obviously that includes the mandatory acts for sure. Now.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
First would be your intention. Intention for wudu.
Intention, which should be where?
In your heart.
In your heart.
Second would be Bismillah. Say Bismillah.
Say Bismillah.
And then you would use the miswak.
Using the miswak. Ahsant. Barakallah fiqh. Naam.
And then you would wash your hands.
Washing the hands. How many times?
3 times.
Just the hands. 3 times. Exactly.
And then you would take water and you would put it in your mouth and your nose 3 times. And then you would take water and wipe your face 3 times.
Or wash, not wipe.
Wash,
right.
Sorry. Yeah. From
wash.
The top of your hairline to your chin.
The chin.
3 times.
And then horizontally. From where to where?
From the right to the left.
Yeah, from the border of the ear to the border of the ear, right? Because some people, why do we actually make sure and be very clear on that? A lot of people, and sorry kids, but especially with the kids, but that's not limited to the kids. Even some people, they become adult and subhanAllah, they don't know, right? They take water, alhamdulillah, they wash. No, you didn't wash your face. That's not washing the face. Water didn't get here, didn't get here, right? May not have gotten here. You have to make sure that it covers all of this area. All of that is from the face, right? وَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ. What is al-wajh? Everything from the hairline to the chin, vertically, and then from the ear to the ear, horizontally. Not including the ear. From the edge of the ear to the edge of the ear. Now, how many times?
3 times.
3 times. Now we're talking sunnah. Remember, that's not mandatory. But this is better. And this is the sunnah. And this is how you actually perfect your wudu. Because you're copying and imitating the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this will get you the greatest ajr. Now, next.
And then you would wash your elbows starting with your right, from your fingertips up to your elbows 3 times.
If somebody, I want to ask you a question. If somebody says, but we already washed the hands, so now I'm going to only wash from here to here. Is that acceptable?
No.
Why?
Because you have to start from your fingertips.
Because that's part of the arm. And this is what is mandatory. Washing the hands at the very beginning was a sunnah. You could get away without doing it. You can still have a valid wudu without washing the hands, the one up front at the very beginning, the 3 times. But now it is mandatory. That's a big mistake, by the way. A lot of people do that. They're thinking in their mind, oh, I already washed my hands up front, so khalas, that's it. Now I just wash from here to here. And that's a big mistake. Because they're missing now what's mandatory, and they did what was sunnah. That's wrong. So in here, I want to make sure that we do 3 times from the fingertip to the elbow, including the elbow. How many times?
3 times.
3 times. Which side do you start with?
Right hand.
Right hand, and then?
And then your left.
And the left hand. That's sunnah. Question. If somebody washes their left hand and then their right hand, is that valid?
It would be valid, but it's not the sunnah.
It is valid. Notice why. Because in the ayah, it doesn't specify. Allah Azza wa Jal says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِذَا قُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ. Your both hands. It doesn't say from the right to the left. But we said it is the sunnah. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ used to like to always start with his right side and then the left side. And this is how he performed the wudu. It was his sunnah. It's not mandatory. So if somebody comes and asks you, subhanAllah, I started with the left hand and then the right hand. Valid. Is it valid or not? Valid. Is it better? No, it's not better. What is better?
The right to the left.
So start with the right side and then the left side. So you do 3 times, right? And then you do 3 times to the left side. Ahsan. Next.
And then you would take water and wipe over your head.
Starting from
your hairline,
right,
to your back,
right,
and then forward,
right,
and then you would wipe your ears like this.
If somebody says, brings fresh water and does do it like this, that's it.
Not valid.
That's not wiping over the hair, right? You have to wipe over the hair and reach the hairline on your from the back or on the back of your neck. And then your ears, ahsant, and then you would wash your feet, starting with your right foot 3 times each. 3 times, starting with the right side and then the left side. Ahsant. That's from the sunnah. With respect to, with respect to washing or cleaning the mouth, what is the sunnah? To vigorously
use the miswak.
Not the miswak, but with the water. Let me refresh your memory. If somebody just takes water,
you have to rinse very well.
Very well. Swirl the water around. Now we say it's a valid, but is this the best thing? Some people just, right? Water didn't get everywhere in the mouth. What is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is to actually swirl the water around and clean the mouth very well. Very well. Likewise for the nose, to take the water as much up as you can inside the nose and then you blow it. Except in one case. When you're fasting. Other than that, you need to clean your nose very well. Some people, water didn't even get in the nose. Doesn't even get in there, right? Just barely on the opening of the nose. That's it. Doesn't even get inside. That's not cleaning the nose, right? You have to actually take the water inside the nose. as much as possible and as high as you can possibly do. Except in one case, when you're fasting. Why? For fear of water getting inside.
You don't have to gargle it?
Where?
When you wash your mouth, put the water in your mouth. Yeah.
No gargling. That's not from the sunnah. But you swirl it around. Yes. Gargling is not from the sunnah. No.
But you can do it. But it's not part of the sunnah.
No, if you keep doing it, then it becomes bid'ah. Because now you're adding something to this ibadah of wudu that is not part of it. No. Now you did it once because you felt something, but if you keep doing it, then it is as if it becomes part of the wudu. And it's not.
It's not in the other fiqh?
I am not sure, but there is absolutely no evidence to it. No evidence. And, if they have an evidence, let us, but I'm very 100% sure there's absolutely no evidence to it. Now, let's see, what else? What if somebody has a beer? A light beer as opposed to, mashallah, a huge beer. If it is light beer, then you need to make sure that water gets everywhere, right? Because it's easy. Right? You need to bring water and make sure. If it is a big, mashallah, great beer, what is the sunnah?
You put your fingers in...
No, just from the outside.
Outside.
Yeah, as long as, because it is huge, right? It's not going to be easy to get all the way inside. But you actually just make sure that water gets on the outside. But if it is, smaller, for example, my beard, your beard, right? Then you would actually, bring your wet water, your wet hand, and make sure that it gets everywhere. Now, because it's easy, no big deal, right? If it is huge, mashallah, it's not going to be easy to get everywhere inside. Now, then when you're done,
you have to make sure it's in succession.
That's also mandatory. You're right. It has to be in succession. It has to be in the proper order. But you're now completely done with the wudu.
You make dua.
What is the dua? أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم اجعلني من التوابين واجعلني من المتطهرين. So there are two dua, and we said these were narrated in the first one is Sahih Muslim and Sahih al-Tirmidhi, where Rasulullah ﷺ was quoted as saying, "ما من أحد يتوضأ فيسبغ وضوءه." Here Rasulullah ﷺ said, "Allahumma ja'alni min at-tawwabin waj'alni min al-mutatahhirin." Oh Allah, make me among those who repent and make me among those who purify themselves. Right? Because we said that the wudu itself is an act of purification. Not only, although it is physical purification, but we said it is also included in it, right? It should actually come first and foremost, the spiritual purification. Because if you are purifying yourself to Allah Azza wa Jal through the wudu, and your heart is full of sins, filth of sins and filth of iyadha billah, shirk for some people, right? What kind of wudu is that then? Right? You're purifying, but the inside is more important than the outside. Right? And the heart, like we said before, is the king of the limbs, is the king of the body. If the heart itself is diseased, right? Or sickened, then the outside is less important, right? You need to start from the inside and the outside. Jazakallah khair. Who else can do this again for us? Demonstrate the full wudu for us. Come on, ya akhwan. Nothing to be worried about. No, you. There's nobody behind you. Jazakallah khairan. Everything. Full wudu. Full wudu from everything, from A to Z. Niyyah in the heart, right? So you're basically aware of what you're doing, right? You know why you're doing this, right? It's not just regular cleaning. You're not cooling off in the summer, right? Just, some people after coming from work, they want to cool down, right? So you just, put cold water on yourself. That's not it. You know exactly why you're here, what you're doing.
Then do miswak.
Miswak, using the miswak.
And then say Bismillah.
Bismillah.
Then wash your hands.
Washing your hands.
To your ankles.
Right.
Make sure everywhere is wet.
Uh-huh.
Start from the right. And then left. Do it 3 times.
3 times. Ahsant. Barakallah fi.
And then wash your face. Then while washing your face, you have to rinse your mouth.
Rinse the mouth.
And swill the water both sides thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
And then make sure to rinse your mouth 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way. And then clean your nose.
Cleaning the nose 3 times.
3 times.
Cleaning well.
Cleaning well. And then wash your face. Start from the hairline until this border the ears.
Borders of the ear.
To the chin.
And
wash it 3 times.
3 times.
And then wash your hands from the fingertip, including the elbow.
To the elbow. Including the elbow. Ahsant.
3 times.
3 times. Starting with
Right hand, and then to the left hand.
Ahsant.
And then so let's wash your feet.
Before.
Yeah, I'm
The-
sorry.
Yeah.
You have to do
Wiping.
wipe your head.
Mm-hmm.
And for wiping your head, you have to start from the hairline and go to the back side of your head.
Mm-hmm.
You can do once or twice.
Right. Actually, to be more precise, what you can do either once, start from the beginning, from the front, to the back, or from the back to the front, either way, or you can go back and then back to the front. And this is the sunnah, this is the better, to do like this and then come back.
And with the same water, make sure to clean your ears, the front and also on the back side.
Yes. Ahsant, I like this. The same water, you don't bring fresh water. It's the same water that you use to wipe over the head, right? So in other words, I'm sorry, real quick. So you washed your arms, right? Right? And then you bring some fresh water, right? And then you throw the remaining, additional. You wipe over your head, right? And then the same water, you clean your ears.
And then wash your feet.
Then washing your feet.
Wash your feet, both feet up to the ankle, including the ankle. Make sure the feet is, start from the right side to the left, 3 times.
3 times. And then, what is now more important is to use your fingers in between your toes to make sure that water gets everywhere. And this is actually more important in the feet more than in the fingers. Because in the fingers, usually, naturally there's some space in between. It's hard to think that water is not going to get everywhere. But the toes are more, they stick together more closely. So it is expected that water, unless you actually separate between them with so you work your fingers in between your toes to make sure that water gets everywhere, because it may not.
And then make dua.
Make the dua, which is
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله
وحده
وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله.
اللهم اجعلني
اللهم اجعلني
من التوابين واجعلني من المتطهرين. أحسنت. بارك الله فيك. جزاك الله خيرا. Any questions, يا أخوان?
About these socks, how you make the wudu? Not the leather socks.
What time is Aisha Iqama?
10 o'clock.
At 10 sharp?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take then 2-3 minutes more, because it looks like Brother Abdul Mannan has brought some samosa. And obviously it's not suitable to eat in here. So we should go back Inshallah. So let's take another 4 minutes.
Quick question about the socks.
Socks. Well, we're not going to be able.
Just socks, I'm talking. Just regular.
Khuf.
So can I
That
take-
socks.
Yes, enough.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
How thick should be and how.
Ya akhi, you're always looking ahead. You're always looking. That's the next topic, by the way.
Okay.
You know, that's the next topic. So let's not start it from now.
Okay.
Well, actually, this will be the discussion next week, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. If there are no questions, no comments, or anything,
Very important that when we go.
it is very important. We're going to have, actually, I'd love to see every one of you next week, because we're going to have a very interesting and detailed
Next week, I'm not.
discussion. Well, inshallah, you'll see the recording of al-masah ala al-khuffayn. That's the matter. This is how it's described. Al-masah ala al-khuffayn. So we're going to define what is khuffayn and what is allowed, right? And the period it is allowed for. Because the person who is journeying and the person who is not journeying, they don't have the same time. You can make masah for a certain period of time, and whether you're journeying, it makes a difference, right? And what invalidates the masah on the khuffayn and all of that. I hate to use the word, but like they say, we're gonna